Welcome back everyone, and join me as today we're going to be looking at one of the best shoemaking brands in the world, which is Antonio Meccariello from Italy. Coming up. So welcome back my friends. As you can see, I'm working a bit on the new setup, which is not complete yet, so let me know what you think. And I'm very excited to bring you today even more shoe content, and the brand that has been heavily requested by pretty much almost all of you in the channel, and that is Antonio Meccariello from Italy. So today I have here a really nice model, an Adelaide Oxford, which is called the Hastatus, in navy patina, which I found, I got a really crazy deal for about $400 US, including the shoe trees, which is 50% off a clearance from a shop in Hong Kong. It was just clearing them out. So that was an incredible deal I couldn't pass out. And a great opportunity to bring you new content and for me to get finally my first pair of shoes from a brand that I loved seeing and finally test them. So for those of you that don't know that much, Antonio Meccariello is from Italy and in the city of Naples. So he's actually friends with Paolo Scafora, which you might have seen. And he's one of the best shoemakers in the world right now. He mainly does made-to-measure, high-end bespoke, and he does have some ready-to-wear lines, actually 3 lines. It can be a little more complicated, so I will leave that for maybe another video. This particular shoe is from a line that only retailers carry, and it's called Argentum Dux. Well, I hope I say it right. And what's unique about it is that it's not exactly Goodyear welted, neither hand welted, but something in between, which we will discuss later. And the Argentum Dux, usually you will see it anywhere from, I would say, $800 to $900 up to, who knows, north of 1,200. It depends on the model, it depends on the specifications and the adjustments or whatever else you get. Pretty good value for money. Essentially, in many ways, this is a handmade shoe, especially in the hand-welted range that he sells himself, the regular Argentum. He started his, he has a very long history with shoemaking from his family when they work as bespoke shoemakers, and Antonio himself is, he's an awesome guy, very passionate about his shoes and who he sells them to. And after he did his studies and, you know, all the design and shoe studying under multiple companies and shoe people, local shoe people, he was also contracted to, I think it was either Rubinazzi and Keaton to make their shoes, which he did for a long time, and he had this bespoke range, but in the end, he sold his shares there and he focused completely on his own workshop. And I think for the last, I would say that's 12, 13 years maybe. So what we're going to do today, of course, is like every video, we're going to discuss the most important aspects, which is fit, sizing, availability, value for money, and if it's worth your money in general. But before that, we're going to do this sort of like unboxing close-up. We'll see what's inside the box and what you get, you know, what's the shoe like, what's the features, we'll talk about the sole, we're going to about the last, pretty much all the details you will need. So let's get started. All right, my friends, let's begin the close-up. Let me know if you like the new look and camera angle. So here we have a box of Antonio Meccariello, and you can see that's a very nice logo on the top. Of course, here on the side, quite minimalist actually. You can sort of see the model and size and little details like this. Now the problem number one was it took 23 billion years to arrive from the Hong Kong shop, which in the end it's fine for the price I paid. So if you buy from Antonio Meccariello, it will come much quicker. In any case, the problem was that as this is a shoe that apparently was a sort of like a floor model or a try-on pair, you can see that the box is sort of ruined. It's a little bit of garbage actually. It's not very sturdy overall, but I think that this has been abused a little bit more, which is a little disappointing. Actually, Antonio offers you a chance to get a nice wooden box if you want. It costs a little more. Let's check the inside. Very simplistic, actually. I'm not sure if the shoes from him come with anything else, but you get some pretty vibrant red shoe bags. They're quite heavy duty and really soft, actually, with some yellow strings attached to them, and of course 2. There's no branding or something special about them. Again, okay, this is sort of ruined, but you get some tissue paper, you know, that is also branded, and some sort of foam to keep everything steady inside the box, and that's it. If you expect some shoehorn or some leaflet or something like this, you will not find any. So let's begin with the shoes. All right, now we've got the shoes. So let's begin with talking about the appearance and the model. This model is called the Hastatus. It's an Adelaide Oxford, as you can see from this sort of U-throat that it has. Although there is a version of the Hastatus that has a more pointy appearance, and it's a really unique model. This one, of course, is, you would say, a regular Oxford with the Adelaide design, and it has, you know, 5 eyelets, blind eyelets here, and a really nice medallion at the toe area. What makes this, you say, unique, right? So first of all, this is a bicolor, sorry, not exactly bicolor, leather design, because this part, you know, most of the shoe is made from regular calf. Well, this one is, it's called pin grain. It seems to be an even more, how you call it, discreet print of, you know, embossed grain, sort of like the hatch grain design, but even smaller. I guess that's why they call it pin. Other distinctive features is that you can say that the medallion here is not, you know, your usual medallion. It has a sort of like different design. It reminds me a bit of a butterfly in a way, you know, you see it like this. Very unique. Also, there is, it's very classy for an Adelaide Oxford to have, you know, broguing around the throat area. Very interestingly, this one has a bit on the tongue as well. Maybe you can see here the punched hole. That's absolutely interesting. And that's about what the shoe is. Now let's talk about the features and my first feelings about it. To begin with, let's discuss the last. So the last is called the Chisel 2. Antonio has quite a few lasts, I think at least 6-7 of them. This one is, you can see, it's a soft square last. Let me show you this way. You can see here at the top is very nice soft square last. And it's very interestingly, like if you check the shoe's profile, like look at here how it has this, look at the curvature. It's so, you know, deep and sharp, yet you will see that my foot fits really well. But when you look at it from a profile, you're like, if this was a car, it would be like, wow, what a machine. Definitely Italian style. On the back, we have a dogtail back seam, very simplistic, with very tight stitching, which, by the way, the stitching is, I don't know what to say, it's perfect overall. I cannot find a single flaw when I look around the shoe, whether it is, you know, like the seams here, where it's the broguing details, and I really like the proportions that he has used. The space between the medallion toe, which seems to be a little larger, and the lack of a cap toe. It has some really nice design elements that are very simplistic, but you can see this corner is sharper and creates a bit more angles. I really enjoy looking at it. When I saw it on the shop, it was just, I need to have this. I don't care about the other models. I think that the pin grain here is very tasteful. Even if you don't like biomaterial looks so much, this is so discreet. that you will barely see it. It almost looks like it has a bit of a darker color, but that's really it. Now, when it comes to the sole is amazing. You can see that it's hand painted here, so it's like a patina, and it has a bit of a lighter, you know, like cobalt blue, you would say, brighter blue here at the front area. It has an awesome fiddleback waist that you can maybe see here. It's like amazing. Here on the heel, it looks much more, you would say, simplistic, with a pretty large rubber insert here, just a few tacks. I really like this small feature here that starts the fiddleback, and this is great for the price. It's quite unreal. And it's a very good job at the front with some extra tacks. I will definitely install some metal toe tips on these just in case. Now, let's see at some let's call them problems that I found with this particular pair. And one of them was that this model has been apparently sitting in the shop for 3 years or so. So when I opened them up, I was, you know, it left a little bit of a sour feeling, like a sour aftertaste in my mouth, because you can see that they are a little worn here. They have some crease marks, and especially on the other shoe here, you can see that the appearance of, sometimes this you can see when it's loose grain, but this is not the case here. The leather is extremely dry on these pairs and needs conditioning. I will fix that, it's not a problem. And honestly, if you paid only $400, including lasted shoe trees for these, and you know, they have a very slight like sign of wear, you should not be like, I don't want them or I should return them. Honestly, this is a great shoe for an amazing price, and it's just leather. As soon as you put them on, they will crease a little, so it's perfectly fine. And I will just condition it, and I will be very, very happy owner. That's the only sort of problem I could find when it comes to, you know, the leather, which leather, it feels very, not just soft, very, very smooth. You cannot see it by just the, you know, the look of it, but in a way it feels like Cordovan leather, shell Cordovan. It's so smooth, and it's almost like it has an extra layer. I'm pretty stoked to have this and examine it. I think the leather is very high quality, and if this shoe is indeed 3 years old, I'm pretty amazed of how well it's holding on, and you know, on the areas that have not been drying. Stitching on the uppers, we said it's excellent in really every part of the shoe. But let's take a look at the sole once more and the welt. So you can see here that you know, the fadge wheel here with some pretty high density SPI, and this, the way it shows here, it reminds me a lot of Enzo Bonafè, like the style. You can see how prominent the fudge wheel is. I think it adds to the appearance when you look at it from the top. I think it looks great. It's very good, and you can see, you know, you can't call it exactly imperfections, but you can see that there is a little bit of inconsistency maybe around the heel block area. Nothing major. Otherwise, the rest of the edge dressing is superb, and I really have nothing bad to say. I mean, you can look at it here again, that it's not exactly maybe even. If you have OCD, who cares? Shoe is great. Now let's quickly talk about the construction, which, well, here it gets really complicated. So first of all, Antonio Meccariello has the Iris line that is just Goodyear welted. Then there is the regular, what we say, Argentum, that seems to be Goodyear welted. There is also the hand welted version, but for retailers there is one in the middle part called Argentum Dux, and it's a very special construction and quite convoluted to try to explain. But it seems to be, how you call it, a mixture between hand welted and Goodyear welted. So What he does is that in this particular construction, he doesn't use any lean and hold fast. So pretty much there is no glue, and there is direct contact between, you know, like the leather, the quilt, and the uppers instead. So this means there's no chance of the glue failing, for example, and the holdfast is carved by hand. But still, the parts of the upper and the welt are, you know, stitched by machine. So there is a bit more of a handmade process apparently when it comes at least to the holdfast and the lack of, you know, glue. But it's still, in a way, a Goodyear welted machine stitched shoe. If you want hand welted, well, there's also this option, as well as the Aurum line that is on a higher tire. And that's about it. So now let's talk shoe trees. As you can see, these are lasted, as a very nice sharp chisel toe here. I really like his shoe trees. They're a bit different. They're not as lightweight as some others. As you can see, they're not hollowed, but they're quite light, I would say. For what they are, they have a very unique here at the top. It's very easy to pull out, very easy. You can see how much I can grip it, and it also protrudes, you know, over the shoe quite a bit. I actually think it's pretty nice. Also, traditionally, you see here the bars or the hinges on the shoe trees, but in this case, it's much more, you know, discreet. There's one metal bar. You can see how it bends, but it also hides it and creates a nice aesthetic appearance as well. And you can also see here how much curvature there is at this last and at the instep area. And that's about it. Great shoe trees. I definitely recommend that if you buy shoes like these at these price tires, that you should absolutely take lasted shoe trees if you have the possibility. So there we go. That was the close-up, and let's move on with the show. And that was it, my friends. I hope you really enjoyed the video and the close-up. I was very excited to bring you this content and this particular brand. It always fascinated me, and it still fascinates me to see what's possible. I'm in love with Italian style and Italian shoemaking. I think they are amazing. So Antonio Meccariello was always very high on my list. I'm still excited to get more eventually. In any case, as you saw in the close-up, there were a few sections where I was not completely happy with. However, like, as discussed, this particular model seems to be, well, not exactly maybe a floor model, but it shows that it has been tried on, and according to other sources, like in Hong Kong, this has been sort of like in stock for about 3 years. So no wonder the leather was a bit dry, and you know, it has signs of sort of very little wear. So it should not be, to say it otherwise, shoes that would come out of Antonio's workshop, they would not be like this. He will not let a shoe go out of the workshop if it's not perfect. That's why his delivery times are very lengthy. Now, very important, let's begin first with the fit and the sizing. So after discussions in Style Forum and asking people for advice in general, they told me that in most like square lasts of Antonio Meccariello, I should go up half a size, like Gaziano and Girling, the TG73 or the Deco, etc. And I took their advice. So this one is a UK 8.5. If you check the previous reviews, you will see that mostly I will use UK 8 or UK 7.5 if they're wide. I have a quite high instep, I would say. My foot is very flexible as well. So to talk about these, they fit very well in the instep. It's really good, and I would say the width is very good as well, and there's just enough clearance on the toe area. There's enough space. Arch support seems to be pretty good, because I have a bit more, you know, a bit of flatter foot, and it bothers me after a while, but these have been, they have not been so stiff from the get-go. My only problem was that there was not a substantial, but the heel slip was there a little bit. I feel that I should take this last true to size, because now I will have to wear it with a tongue pad, which I'm pretty sure that it will make the fit perfect. But for those of you that look for a snug fit and you usually don't have a problem with pinching around the toe area, the little toe, or you have a bit narrower foot maybe, and not such a high instep, I definitely recommend going true to size with the chisel to last. I don't care what other people say, this is my experience. I definitely recommend you taking your regular UK size or sizing down full size from your US. And that's about it. As far as the fit goes, I said it generally fits pretty comfortable. I like it, I can still wear it, but I will definitely have to use a tongue pad to adjust the fit, push my foot a little backwards to eliminate the little heel slip and any problems that my heel would have from scrubbing the bottom or the side. That's about the fit. I'm quite impressed by the shoe build quality, despite the fact that it's been sitting around for so long. It's very interesting. You can see here how how much it arches here. It's like someone told me that, oh my god, you must have a humongous instep. I think it's just the Italian style. It curves so much nicer than your average shoe. Now let's discuss availability. So that's a problem. There are very few, if any, left retailers of Antonio Meccariello, and the only line that you can find is the Argentum Dux, and I think there is one else that is Medallion that carries it in China, that has their own line called Tetanus, something like this. Sounds like a disease. Anyways, small adjustments here and there, but for the main three lines and the bespoke, you should always, in my opinion, go through Antonio Meccariello. The problem is not just availability, but unless something is specifically in stock, you need to go through a made to order, and that can take a long time. It depends. When I try to stock Antonio Meccariello for my store, the quality times could be 6 months to 8 months for delivery. So some people have said that it's up to 12 months to get their shoes, sometimes even more, sometimes less. But be aware that this is a delicate process that will very often take at least 6 months to make. If you want to get your own pair with this patina and some adjustments. For example, this is a bi-material design. So is it worth it? If you find them in stock, and especially on clearance, and clearance we don't even have to discuss this, but for $800 to between $800 and $1,000, I think they're amazing shoes. There is absolutely no way that personally I would buy, I retail them, but I would never buy Crockett & Jones hand grade and not buy Antonio Meccariello like for the Argentum hand welted line. And I don't think that anything can come close to the level of craftsmanship, the design, the flair, and all this kind of stuff, the stuff and the feeling that you get when you hold one of these at that price point. There are very few brands. For value, for example, Passus that I reviewed previously might offer you more handmade details at this price point. But man, there's just something in Italian shoes, good Italian shoes, that is just blows me away. I love them so much. I think that if you're not the type that likes contemporary, very classic shoes, like the English shoes, and you want to go a bit further than the value proposition of $300 and $500, I think that this is worth your money and worth your consideration. It's absolutely brilliant. And you can go, the made-to-order route and just add so many details, make so many modifications. And Antonio himself is such a gentle, nice guy. He will do his best to help you. And that's for the recommendations, that's the pricing, that's the fit advice. I think this is a great shoe. Specifically the navy color, I feel this is very underrated and very easy to match. It's one of my favorites. I have way too many shoes in that color. and it's for a good reason. I think it looks fantastic. And I'm very happy. I finally got my first Antonio Meccariello shoes. I hope you also enjoyed this, well, lengthy as always, review of them, in depth. And there's more content to come. I really look forward to wearing these, you know, now that the ice has melted here in Stockholm, and how I'm going to pair them. And you probably already saw some of the clips of how I style them and how they look on my feet. I think they're brilliant. But what I want to hear is your opinions. First of all, what do you think about the new setup? There's going to be some new stuff here. There's going to be some more lighting here. I've already set up some desk with a bit of shoes on the shelf. I'm very excited to, you know, fix my lighting and all this kind of stuff. But I also want to hear your opinion about these. If you have an opinion about Antonio Meccariello or an experience, or if you're thinking about it, or maybe this video helped you, please let me know. Even if you had a bad experience, like waiting times or simply a bad fit, just write in the comments down below. And of course, like the video, don't forget to subscribe, press the like button and the notifications. It really motivates me to bring you even more awesome content. That's about it for today. I will see you next week. And please stay for about 30 more seconds for another really bad dad joke of the week. So my friend claims that he accidentally glued himself to his autobiography. I don't really believe him. But in any case, it's his story and he's sticking to it. Oh my god, it's dreadful. I love you all. Please keep sending me bad dad jokes in the comments or via message. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.